Bitcoin's in the beginning stages of a huge catch-up rally to the NASDAQ. AKA Wall Street traders are expecting Bitcoin to outperform stocks over the coming months, which is needed after Bitcoin fell 33% compared to the NASDAQ. And this reversal seems due after you look at the asset performance for 2025. Here you can see Bitcoin's been underperforming all the major asset classes. Silver's up over 100%, gold's up nearly 60%, NASDAQ's up 22%, and Bitcoin's barely up 0.6%. And we'll look at this chart in 1 second, but big money is already betting on Bitcoin to outperform the stock market. And just now, the largest 401k provider just shouted that they're bullish on Bitcoin, and they're number one by a wide margin. And I'm talking about Fidelity Investments. They are crushing the rest of the market with a 43% market share percentage. They provide more 401ks than the rest of the market, and no one else is even close. Here's Abigail Johnson, CEO of Fidelity, speaking yesterday.
I kind of like Bitcoin. I don't own tons of coins, but I own Bitcoin. And I think it will continue to play a role in the savings hierarchy of lots of people.
And if that doesn't make you bullish enough, corporate Bitcoin holdings has surged from 200K Bitcoin to over 1 million Bitcoin, up 450% since January 23. And last but not least, banks in the United States are now officially allowed to buy and sell Bitcoin for customers. And this was announced just yesterday by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Well, let's get into the charts and answer the question, is NASDAQ about to give ground to Bitcoin? Will Bitcoin start to outperform the stock market? So what we're looking at here is Bitcoin relative to NASDAQ. And what you can see here is we have a slight drawdown within this parallel range, and then we have a sharp downturn. But what happens next? Well, what if I told you this happens almost every single year? We see this time and time again. This is in 2024. This would be the local low for the rest of the year. We have a slightly downturn parallel range, boom, followed by a large drawdown. 2023, also the bottom for Bitcoin. We'll throw up the Bitcoin price in a second. 2023, we see it right there. 2022, we see it right here. And even 2021, we see it right there. And you have another one, 2018, 2019. You have one for 2020 as well. So this is not a new thing. But let's pull up Bitcoin's price and see what happens next to Bitcoin when we see this type of activity. So we're going to hit plus, we're going to compare symbol, we're going to hit Bitcoin, then we're going to go ahead and scale this to the chart. So the blue line is Bitcoin's price, and the candles, the green and red candles, is Bitcoin compared to the NASDAQ. So you can see here in 2024, when we replicated the pattern that we're in right now, Bitcoin would find a bottom. We would touch this 2 more additional times, but that was a Bitcoin bottom for 2024. We go to 2023, you see the same thing. This would be a Bitcoin bottom. Basically, that was the local low for the rest of the year. Let's go to 22, and then you can see yet again, Bitcoin, it hits this range, finds a local bottom, but then we would find the true bear market bottom, and this coincided with the same pattern that we're looking at from earlier. And then 2021, we'll end it right here. This is the mid-year downturn, the June-July downturn in 2021. We did the same chart pattern where Bitcoin dumps against NASDAQ, finds a bottom after it moves a little too sharply, too quickly, and then Bitcoin goes on a huge run. And every single time, Bitcoin's price also has a huge appreciation. You can see in 2024, Bitcoin would pump about 75% right there. And then in 2023, we would also have a phenomenal pump. That's over 100% pump right there. 2022, even if you jumped in early, you would still get a 42% pump. If you timed it correctly, you would get a 61% pump. And then in 2021, another 100% pump if you're able to buy during the same period where we have a parallel range. It's a little downturn, and then a huge falling off the cliff type price action for Bitcoin relative to NASDAQ. So there's just a little chart analysis for you. Bitcoin price in the NASDAQ looks very undervalued. And when you compare Bitcoin to the other major asset classes, it does look like Bitcoin's time to shine is going to be 2026. Now, I can tell you what I'm doing personally. I am rolling gains from the stock market into crypto. I've been doing that with some silver options that we've been cashing in lately. We've been covering these on the live stream, but I'm on the fence. Should I sell my Tesla? I'm way up on my Tesla stock. Should I move some Tesla stock into Bitcoin? Let me know down in the comments below. I will listen to you and I will execute the trade in the live stream. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto. I'll see you in your Bitcoin bags at the top.